you have options here. So you can choose to scrape or you can choose to cup. Either way, what we're going to do is we're just going to continue to kind of open the area, but we're going to think about affecting the first kind of most superficial level and try to get a little bit better blood supply to the area. So I'm going to use cups or scrapes. I'm going to borrow Ray. Now, the thing that I want to do, though, is, you want to swivel around? Yeah. Is I want to do this in different positions. So remember, we want to start in a position that's really comfortable, and then we're going to move towards positions of like provocation or towards end ranges. So the areas, if I'm using a scraper or a cupper, the areas I'm going to think about are the anterior deltoid, maybe a little bit of pec. I can probably do some stripping underneath the collarbone. I'll show you how to do that. And then the deltoid, I'm sorry, the deltoid, but the bicep and the bicep tendon running underneath that deltoid. So with the scraping, I'm going to constantly be moving her and changing positions. So I may start kind of light. If you're using the scraper, you want to have about a 45 angle on that scraper, maybe a little bit higher, but around 45 degrees, so you get a nice shear stress on the tissue. And when I'm working that deltoid, I'm just going to be rotating, changing the positions. If I come over here to the bicep, I'm going to flex and extend that elbow. It will change the effect on the tissue. You're going to create more shear stress as you move toward a lengthening position versus a shortening position. Right? If I wanted to do her collarbone, something I could do, you could do what's called a fillet, where I'm going to use this more, I won't say pointed, but the more like sharp. And I'm going to use my thumb to get my pressure or my depth, and then I'm going to use my finger here, but I'm going to pull my finger along like an effleurage, and as I pull my finger along, I'm going to follow behind with the scraper and just do really short strokes. So a little bit of pressure on the collarbone, and then as I drag my finger out, I'm just following behind, short choppy strokes. This is a really good way to soften up the upper fibers of the pec. I could do the same thing, coming closer to the sternum, get the sternal head. What I'm really trying to get here is better slide and glide between the tissue layers, specifically the skin over the rest of the tissue. So when I do my warm-up, I do my Swedish, I'm going to kind of be sensing for areas that don't seem to want to move. So for her, most of it's right here. That may be where I focus in on. Now, same thing with the cups, but you're going to slide cup. You're going to slap a little baby silicone cup on. You can use this one. This one's a little bit bigger, so on rounded surfaces it might not stay on as well. But a little baby cup is perfect for this. I'm going to slide up. I'm going to slide down. If I find an area that's really dense, I may keep that cup there and move her around a little bit. Right? Maybe I want to do the bicep tendon. Get over there, flex and extend. I can come over here closer to pec minor. Same thing, take the arm overhead. So what I'm starting to do is layer in movement, right? The warm-up was static, they were just laying there. Now I'm starting to layer in some passive movement. I'm gonna move her for now, right? But we'll get to a point where she's gonna move herself. But whichever you have, whichever you prefer to use, cup or scrape, what I want you to practice is as you're going, take them through their ranges of motion, right? One thing I didn't do, lower pec, real dirty. Only do it if you need to, because it's uncomfortable. Storm, you can use this. Thank you. I forgot my cup.